Hello everyone, I'm Louise.
I'm Ro.
And together we are in the loop. Today we are joined by Tim Cole from Feel Financial. We have been covering topics over the last couple of weeks about starting a business, new businesses, highs and lows in business. So we thought it would be a good time to talk to someone about insurance. So hi Tim, welcome.
Thank you very much for having me on, guys. That's very kind.
So tell us a bit about what you do then. Obviously, insurance is quite a broad spectrum, isn't it?
It is. I mean, there's many different elements to when it comes down to the insurance side of it. From my perspective and what we do at Feel Financial, we more look after the financial protection. So that's more personal insurances, business insurances that are actually going to pay out lump sums in the event of incapacitation, serious illnesses, to protect really the financial ongoing of your business. So whether that's key people, shareholders, along those lines. But we also help out with a lot of other businesses, with some of the partnerships that we work through. So from the commercial insurance elements as well, from things like public liability, employers liability, professional indemnity. So we try and keep it and be able to offer our clients a full spectrum of to mitigate risk for their insurances from their business perspective, really. So
sounds like quite a broad spectrum then. So is it very much sort of business/business owner focused as opposed to employed people?
Well, it can also come into the employees as well, because as I said, depending on what sort of size business you're working with, I mean, you might be working with a sole trader or just a one-man band kind of thing. So from that perspective, we're generally going to focus on that individual only from, again, any kind of financial risk and loss of profits, turnovers, or again, personal income as well. But again, as the businesses grow, they might start taking employees on, they might take another director on, another shareholder. So again, it's then us to then focus on that business, look at where the risks lie from those, because they might take staff on that are key to profits. If they lose those people, obviously they're going to have a big hit on their own income and the business's income as well. So it's kind of, again, with insurance, there's so many different types and risks that you need to assess when you're looking at any type of business. So again, whether it's the employees, whether it's the owners, it can be very broad from that. But also as well, you've got to look at the legality side of it as well, from the commerciality side of your business. So again, your standards kind of public liability, employers' liabilities and things like that as well. So insurance is not the most exciting thing to talk about.
Minefield, I'd say.
It is a minefield, but as I say, the best thing to do is just make sure that you have a good
have it in the background.
Have it in the background, but also as well though, Roop, is just to make sure that it is relevant for your business, because you can sometimes find that people will jump online, just buy something off the shelf and things, but as we know, do you know what I mean? So
you don't know what you're covered for then, do you?
Well, this is it, Roop, and again, we had a similar situation with yours though, didn't we? As I said, when we picked up and had a look at your insurances, there was some bits that weren't covered. Yeah, exactly. So as I said, it's making sure that you understand your business risks as well as the broker. So when you are speaking to your broker, whether it's on the commercial element, whether it's on the business protection element, you need to be making sure that you are totally clear about everything about your business, so it's fully covered.
Yeah, because I think really, like, so we have the fleet insurance, the business insurance, the employees one, and then the one I never really thought about is, like you said, what happens if something happens. And like you said the other week, you were so glad you had it there as a background when you had your appendix. So
yeah,
but it's a bit of a hard sell, really, because you just think, oh, do I need it? Will anything happen?
It's funny though, because I think with the key person,
you never know.
Yeah, I think the key person insurance, until I'd heard obviously the stories about what people had gone through, and then you have friends, and you know, unfortunately, not that I class us as old at all, but you get to that age where you hear about things that are going on, and actually suddenly you hear of, well, if you'd have had this insurance, you could have got a payout of X, and actually that could have been used to pay whoever to carry on running things. And you know, there's been a couple of situations where there's been a couple of scares, and I thought, oh, well, actually, if something does happen, I've got that insurance in place. The question I was going to ask you, so a minute ago you said about insurances and obviously people that have got key people in business, so staff or workers.
Yep.
So on the last podcast, we had Liz over, and she was talking about a guy called George, who's an absolute saviour, and, you know, if something happened to him, like, they'd be absolutely lost. So what sort of insurances could be put in place for a person like that, who's an employee, but obviously a real key person in the business?
That would be key person.
It
So
would.
from that perspective, was it George? Was it
George,
So
yeah.
if George is a big profit provider for the business, as you say, look, if he gets incapacitated, seriously ill, or even passes, the business is going to have a massive shock. Yeah. So therefore, the design of that insurance is then to pay into the business to then cover George's loss of income, cover the business. So again, to make sure that the business does not fall short of any income while that's going through. Because look, finding George is obviously a gold dust employee. Then you've got to pay for the recruitment cost to find someone just as good. You've then got to cover the cost that maybe even from the contracts that he had outstanding, from the salaries that he was covering and things like that. So from that perspective, key person. Now you can look at that in different ways.
And then does he get paid out as well?
No. It would pay into the business.
Right, okay.
So from a business protection perspective, in regards to a personal protection, say a key man insurance is owned by the business. So technically he's the life of another. So let's use my business of Phil Financial. I'm the key person. The business is owned by Phil Financial. I'm the insured party. So if something happens to me, the money is then paid into the business to therefore suffice any risk to any loss of money from those passings or something to happen to them. Now, the good thing on this as well, and what some people do forget about, is these are tax deductible insurances. Yeah, because they're wholly and exclusively for the business use. You can then offset it against your
Yeah, I
corporation
was
tax.
going to say this is all paid through the business. So.
Exactly, but you've also got to be mindful as well, if you do look at these covers, that if a claim is made, it is classed as a tax receipt back into your business. So therefore, you need to then, as I say, if you're looking at 100 grand, you want to add in 20-25%, depending on what your corporation tax bill is on top of that, just to because otherwise you're going to get a big tax bill after you get a load of money. But like you said, Ruth, the big thing is what you just said then. People always worry about other things like, I don't know, their vans or, I mean...
Yeah, we don't think of themselves. Because even I was thinking of, not writing a will, what's the other one?
Last in power of attorney?
Yeah,
Yep.
the last in power of attorney. And then I'm thinking, oh yeah, like I could have an accident. And so you just think of always like when you're old, but...
Yeah, absolutely.
Think,
well, you can use me as an example there. I'm 35 and I got leukemia. So again, it can happen to anyone, and it does. Unfortunately, it's the way of the world. But the thing is, again, from a business owner, like whatever age you are, focus on you as well, because you might be starting a new business. You've come from a job that pays sick pay, or you might get SSP and things like that. If you get injured, construction, any kind of industry, you still get your monthly bills at home to pay for. So again, that's where things like income protection can come into that, whether it's personal, whether it's through the business. And again, luckily, you can still utilise the tax-efficient insurances like executive income protection, even your life insurance. You can run through a limited company as your own death in service. But one thing you've got to focus on is, get the legality side of your business when you're setting up. Get your public liabilities, get your employer's liabilities. If you're doing contracts, you don't want to be risk of any negligent work or anything like that, your professional indemnities. But then think about you. Yeah, and that's the big thing everyone forgets about, because otherwise it's too late. The amount of times I've said, again, I had £1 for every time someone rings me up and said, oh, Tim, I've had this, I've had that. You sometimes can't get insurances anymore. Whereas if you look at it as a younger age and a younger business, you can then, as I said, save money on the premiums, but also mitigate any risk that comes to you, because you've got to remember, if something does happen to you, your business doesn't die. You might need to wrap it up. The cost of that, your accountants, any debts or contracts, things like that, you're outstanding.
I'm going to bubble wrap myself now.
I know.
Where's that cotton wool?
Yeah, exactly. I'm not leaving
really
the house
bad.
tomorrow.
This is like going to be a cheery podcast, and I'm like killing everyone
Cheers
off
for
at the
that.
moment.
Insurance.
Actually, that was quite good, because I was going to ask, if someone was setting up a business, like where should they start? So what you're saying is, so start with the legal side of things, so the public liability, the employer's liability, and the professional indemnity, if that's obviously going to be something that is
Absolutely.
needed.
Yep.
And then focus on them as a person or the employees.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, look, depending on what you're doing, and again, every business is different. So from an industry perspective, do you know what I mean? If you're a one-man band, public liability is going to need to come into it. Do you know what I mean? If you go out, places like this, so for example, if we knock a coffee over a laptop or something like that, you need that side of it. From the employer's liability, again, legal requirement, if something happens to your employee while work, again, you could get sued, and everything from the legal sides from behind that. And to say from yourself, Lou, professional indemnity is very important, because you're doing contracts, the tax work you're working on. If that comes back as a complaint, or again, someone goes against it as negligent work from yourself, you could be looking at a massive legal battle going into that, which can go into hundreds of thousands, and I can imagine some of the corporates into millions.
And I was going to say it's difficult as well because obviously some people will set up a business, but actually they won't do any of these insurances.
No.
But also, depending on whether they've got to be supervised. So as bookkeepers, we have to be supervised.
Yep.
So we're with the ICB, and one of the requirements is your professional indemnity insurance.
Absolutely.
They don't ask for anything else. Obviously, we've got them all,
Yep.
as you know. But they ask for that. So we have to give them a copy of our professional indemnity. And if we don't provide proof that we've got these things,
Yep.
that's it. Our supervision is gone,
Yeah.
and we have to start again. But
Which
there's a
is
lot of
great.
businesses that don't have that sort of thing that makes sure that they've got it all.
Not at all, not at all. And again, really, as a responsible, whether it's being a director, a sole trader, whatever, it's your responsibility to make sure that if something happens, I mean, not just for you and your business, but also for, the general public and things like that. I mean, Roop, for example, with you, like with your vans and your lorries and things like that. I mean, if someone, I don't know, you leave a wire out or something like that, someone trips on it, I'm killing him off today, aren't I? Sorry, buddy. But again, I mean, that is where people
You do.
can
And
get into.
actually, I don't know how it works out, but, a friend of mine the other day, he had his van on the side of the road and this guy with another car hit it, ran. And, that's like a van off the road. They can't get it in. The insurance company we don't know who it was. It could have been a stolen vehicle, not paying out. But in the day, it's like another van off the road.
Yeah, which is money.
Yeah.
So talking about vans then, do you do fleet insurance?
No, as I say, from those, I use one of my partnership companies that will do them for us. So again, when usually businesses get introduced over to us, we'll look at obviously the risk of their business, who they're working with and things like that, but also as well is now under Consumer Duty, which has just been released, we want to be able to offer the full range of products available for any risk of businesses. So again, we've got partnership companies that will work on the commercial, we've got specialist construction, we've got specialist professional services. So again, from the network that I've built on, we can make sure we can cover all those from those. But yeah, we've generally got anyone we can help.
So really any type of insurance that someone needs, if they come to you, if you can't do it yourself in-house, you've got people that you work with that you can put them on to.
And again, who I've worked with over quite a few years now and fully trust on those, because again, you've just got to make sure that it's done and set up right. Yeah. And as I say, word of advice to anyone who's doing their insurance is read the documents as well. Make sure it fits within your risk of your element of your business, but also as well is that your business is going to grow, and it will do. As I said, if you're in the right way, every single year, review it.
Yeah, because this is one thing I get as well with things like with the it's on turnover, and then so your turnover goes up, and if you're not doing this, and it changes. So
absolutely.
So sometimes you're like, oh no, it's gone up, and how do I get it back down?
And things like,
but there's so many elements I didn't realise.
Of course it is, absolutely. But it's turnover, it's wages, number of staff, especially from the commercial insurances. But what we do find as well, and what a lot of people come to us, is generally their broker will just go, oh right, cool, it's another year, there's your renewal, send it out. Where really they should be looking at it going, right, okay, and this is what we do with all the business insurances. Again, look, we're profit protecting, and again, shareholding protecting. We need to know what the business is worth. We need to know what the profit levels are. So every single year we'll ring them, run through the fact find. If it hasn't changed, great. I mean, if it has, then we'll look to adapt it. But from the commercial element though, as I said, we find that quite a lot because turnovers go up, wages go up, staff goes up. You might have labour only or subcontractors and things like that working from you. So again, the broker will just go, here, there's your renewal, where really the broker should be ringing you up and going, how's business? What's been happening? What's your turnover? What's your wages? What's this? Because again, when it comes down to claim, if then they turn around and say, well, actually, this was that, they can sometimes pull out. And let's be honest, look, insurances are very good and they will pay out. But if there is a loophole, they'll find it. So again, you've got to make sure that your broker's proactive, giving you a call once a year, even dropping you an email, look, how's things going, things like that. And that's where you build your relationship. And again, it really does bug me because you get a lot of the aggregates online that just go right off-the-shelf covers, where really you should have that relationship with your insurer, and not just from just setting up the policies, but also if a claim happens. If a claim happens, you don't want to be calling a call centre like on hold for half an hour and things like that. You want to be able to ring someone in direct and go, right, this has happened, right, what's the problem? There's a solution, and sort of crack on from that. But again, yeah, just make sure your broker's proactive.
Is this what you've always done then?
Pretty much, yeah. Kind of fell into it really. Lived in Spain as well. Cut a long story short, went on a holiday, never came home, and then got a job in the city. Worked up there for a bit, and then did a lot of commercial finance, commercial insurances. Then 2008 hit, then focus really mainly on the insurance side of it, really. And yeah, I enjoy it. It's fun.
How are
Especially
you finding new customers? Sorry.
how do you mean new customers?
Or like
how do I
new-
find
yeah.
them? Oh, they're all working with cool people like you guys, really. So again, it's all based on introducers. So I work with accountants, solicitors, other financial services. Again, word of mouth really, Root,
Yeah.
to be honest. Not really into marketing, online, things like that. It's just really...
I think word of mouth. It's so like this week, I was like chatting to the guys, how can we get more work? And they're like Google, and I'm saying, well, a lot of these trades boys aren't going on Google. It's like who you know, like you do a good job for him, then they're using you. So
100%.
the word of mouth, I think, commercially, is 100 times better than what you could ever spend on.
It's the biggest form of
Me
marketing.
personally,
Again, but networking as well. That's how I met you, Lou, and obviously then Lou introduced you to you, Root. And again, it's that kind of butterfly effect, isn't it? You just keep going out. But the thing is, you've got to do is just make sure you're consistent in what you do.
Absolutely, yeah. I think it's always like with the networking side of things, I know we were talking about it before, but yeah, if you've had a good experience, I think all of us have probably had good and bad experiences through people that you meet networking, but they then turn into the same as if you've got a client from elsewhere. So
Absolutely.
when you have got that word of mouth, the minute that Roop said to me something about insurance, I said to him, speak to him, like that's it.
No, you know what she's like? Email, quick.
Yeah, straight on the
Copied
email.
you in.
You know what Roop's like, he'll leave it 6 months.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, no, it is good. I think probably 85% of our clients have all come to us on word of mouth as opposed to social media. And so it speaks volumes, doesn't it, for like what you do
100%.
with your insurance and everything like that.
Yeah, and then also people trust you because, well, I'm not saying you, but a lot of insurance people, they say, oh, I don't know, you never trust them, do you, on the phone? So at least if it's come from someone else,
Oh, of course. What does it say?
you feel that trust on it.
And that is the biggest thing. It's trust. Is anything that you do. And again, if you're like doing a PPC campaign on Google and things like that, one, it's a complete money pit.
Yeah.
But also as well, you've then got to build that relationship. Whereas generally, if someone refers someone over to me, it's just like, oh, you know this person, you know that person, and you can get on them pretty well.
And then the
so.
other guy goes, oh, I'll get it for this, like on your car insurance.
But that's fair enough. If people want to,
mad doing it.
if people want to go and shop around, that's fine. As I said, we pride ourselves in giving the best advice, best product, and we'll just send it out. And look, if you're happy with it, great. If not, jump online, shop around if you like. But when it comes to claim, enjoy the phone calls.
So you've obviously got other companies, so to speak, that you work with on the different types of insurance that you can't provide directly. But have you got anyone that works with you, sort of, I'm going to say in-house?
Yeah, well, as I said, I've got the mortgage side of the business as well. So we've got some mortgage advisors that help with residential and sort of buy-to-let. We just keep on the residential side. Got another guy who does a private medical insurances.
Okay.
So again, from PMI, we look to cover businesses as well as individuals as well.
Have you found that's changed?
What, the
It's
private
got-
medical?
Yeah.
Well, the NHS is selling it for us at the moment,
Yeah.
to be honest.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Are you getting more customers?
Yeah, I
with-
mean, it's probably the
radio all
biggest
week they've been
inquiry.
talking about
Yeah, it's a big inquiry for it at the moment. And it's really sad because, look, the NHS is
Mm.
amazing. Yeah, and you can't take it away from them. But they're just under too much strain at the moment. And again, from a personal side, I mean, if you are ill, things like that, you want to get seen. Yeah, because as I say, you want to either get your scans in, see a consultant, but also as well, it works well with businesses, especially on the group schemes as well. Because as I said, if you've got a business, you've got some employees, I mean, you can offer them private medical, you can offer them life insurance, income protection, critical illness. But the private medical is brilliant because look, if one of your staff goes ill, you can have them in front of a consultant within 2 days. Do you know what I mean? And then, as I said, and the benefit from that as well. But also, I mean, staff is very crucial for any business at the moment. And what we're working with a lot of HR companies, a lot of other businesses as well, is employee benefits. So little things like group life insurance, group income protection, group private medical. And these things really help bolster a culture and with a business. So again, those sort of things come into it at the moment. But PMI is really big at the moment, with everything that's going on.
Tell you what, on the health insurance, I've had private health insurance, well, both myself and Luke have for the last few years now. And when I went into hospital for my appendix, afterwards, the guy who sort of set everything up for me sent a message and said, oh, hope you're all right, recovering. Don't forget about the NHS cash benefit. And I thought, what is that? I hadn't really thought about much. Went on the app, really simply, filled out. Actually, I think all I had to put in on the end was my email address. And about a week later, I got £600 put into my bank, which was the equivalent of £200 a night for being in hospital.
So good.
So
Well, that's off the insurance.
I'd rather have not have gone through the.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I mean.
appendectomy,
If you don't go through the private medical insurance, they'll then cover you through the NHS
Yeah.
stayovers, which again is
That's it.
amazing.
Yeah,
So
it was great. It was something that I wasn't. I mean, unless you're using these things all the time or have done it before, some of the things. But it covers us for £200 of dental work,
Yeah,
200 opticians, and the health checks and stuff. So
that's a big thing at the moment, though, Lou, is looking at the additional benefits that come with your plans. So even if, as I said, we're doing a key man insurance or even a personal insurance, you get certain benefits that come with it, like things like helping hand, which again, or the GP services. So you can get a doctor on the phone 24/7. And again, from that perspective, the benefits are really big at the moment. And again, the FCA are pushing that. So again, yeah, that's a nice little touch to have, even though you were poorly, bless you. But 600 quid, pays for another holiday.
yeah, doesn't it just? Yeah.
There's even the dog. I insure the dog and don't insure myself.
See,
Well,
that's
yeah.
bonkers.
Yeah.
That is bonkers. But we
You
have
need
it
to
all the
speak to
time.
Tim.
But we have that all the time, as I say.
Well,
From
you do dog insurance or not?
income protection, as I said, any business owner is the most important.
Yeah, definitely.
Because again, you've got to look after your family and your home and everything like that as well. So
So we spoke about obviously insurance for businesses and where people should start and the benefits of the different types of insurance and stuff. But what about for you starting a business then? How did you find it when you started out on your own? Like what was the most difficult part, or what have you found a big struggle in running your own business?
oh God, where do you start with that one, Lou? Gee whiz. I don't know, a bit naivety really, being naive in regards to going into the business, especially from where I came from. And the biggest challenge really is probably up here, is keeping the focus and keeping the drive. Obviously, building client relationships. Oh God, Lou,
Is it always changing the industry? Like, do you have to keep on top of new legislation or
Absolutely.
new little laws? Like, how do you?
So the new one that's just came out now is the Consumer Duty Act,
Okay.
which again is all about making sure that the client is fully aware on what they're purchasing, making sure it's actually fitting their needs correctly. In a nutshell, that is.
Is that very much in like the financial sort of sector?
Pretty much, yeah.
Someone was talking to us about that this morning, weren't
Yeah,
they?
just
And again, it's just about not misleading clients. So again, they're going after some ropey brokers or whatever else. But again, it's good for the industry, and I'm a massive believer in it's the right thing to do.
Yeah, because that's what he was saying. You got to ask questions to cover everything.
Yeah, absolutely.
To make sure that everything's
So
been asked.
we've always been pretty good at this in regards to broadening out and asking a full fact find around everything. So whether it's your business, personal, whatever else. So therefore, for example, wills, LPAs, we've got companies that we then work with and then place those. So from the fact find, it's like, right, so-and-so needs this, so-and-so needs this. So again, when we give our advice, we recommend that they need to speak to these people or they take the products that we're looking at. But in regards to legislation, it changes all the time, Root. So again, like the CPD is non-stop to be
But
honest
how do
with
you keep on? Like they send you, like you're part of a body, and then they send you the emails, or there's
Yeah, I mean, with
Events.
where our business is, we work through a network called the Right Mortgage, and basically they are kind of our compliance arm before the FCA. So again, there's constant training, constant tests and seminars that we need to go to just to make sure that we're on point with what we're doing. And it's not the most thrilling side of the job, but it needs to be done. And as I say, we just keep on top of it that way.
That's great. And what would you say has been your biggest highs? And I guess, would you go back to working for someone now?
Oh God, no way. I'd be a pain in the arse, to be honest.
Unemployable.
Biggest wins, too many, Lou. Too many. I mean, in business, just me. I don't know. There's too many wins in what I do. Do you know what I mean? Like helping clients out, obviously paying claims, and making sure businesses are looked after. I know that sounds really morbid, but that is a win. Yeah, because again, it's all well and good. We can sell the products, we can do that, but shit, this stuff needs to pay. Sorry if I didn't swear there, but
Crack on.
we need to make sure it's done. So wins, there's too many to mention, to be honest with yourself, Lou. Personally, obviously getting through cancer, and that was obviously going through a business at the same time. So
I think that's
How
a win
long
in
into the
itself
business-
then, isn't
yeah.
it?
totally, and it changed me in as a person as well. I think it made me.
How long into the business till you'd got?
Well, this was in the first one, so this was just over 3 years.
Oh, wow.
So as I said, then I was away from that for 2 years as well. So then came out of that one and then set this one up in 2018. So yeah, we're 5 years strong now.
Amazing.
I know, it goes so quick.
So what is a top tip for other people then? So if there's other people that have either just started a business or who are just starting a business, not necessarily insurance based, but in terms of actually running a business, what would a top tip be for them, something they need to look out for, or something that you've learnt from? Or
Always ask for help. 100%.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
you can sit there and go, I can do this. Oh, I'll do it this way, do it that way. Don't, yeah. Work with people, like-minded people like yourselves, yeah. Again, build a good community around you, the people that you trust. But also as well, don't be scared to ask for help, because I'm terrible, yeah, and I was, because I made a few mistakes, and it was just like, should have just asked.
yeah,
So I said, don't be afraid to ask. We've all gone through this. The startup phase is an emotional roller coaster. Yeah. It's great, it's bad, it's great, it's bad. Oh, it's really bad, do you know what I mean? As I say, and just manage cash. Is the biggest one as well.
That's something that you said, Ruth, wasn't it? When you first said to me about, let's do a podcast, it was about how everyone talks about the highs and no one speaks about those like low points and the struggles.
Lonely days.
Oh man.
How many times you like that and you're like, oh no.
Oh, the sleep.
I've got to finish this tomorrow. There's no way I can carry on. And they're like, who do I talk to?
Everyone assumes that they're the only ones that are going through those struggles, but actually, reach out, speak to others.
But even some of the more established businesses have the same problems that we do, but you don't think that. You look at it and think, oh, he's driving a nice car.
They just got it on a bigger scale, some of these guys.
Totally. And as I say, just be good with your staff. Staff can be the best thing and the worst thing in any business.
Definitely. So if we finish this up with two things. So firstly, our in the loop question for you. If you could only have one chocolate bar for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Oh, that's easy. Chocolate buttons.
Chocolate buttons?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're amazing. I could do a bag of those easy.
Oh, I like the white chocolate ones.
Enough.
No, not white, Brute.
Is that McGee?
So just bog standard chocolate
Bog standard
buttons.
chocolate buttons. I would happily sit and do that all day.
Fair enough. And if people want to talk to you about insurance or get some advice or et cetera, where can they find you? What's the best way to contact you? Are you on social media?
Not massive on socials. We've got a Facebook page because we look after that. So LinkedIn's usually best. Or again, visit the website, philfinancial.co.uk, or again, give us an email at hello@philfinancial.co.uk.
And LinkedIn, you are?
Just under me. We have got a page, but we're not massive. Yeah.
Just under
Are you active?
Tim Cole.
Are you pretty active on LinkedIn?
I'm active. I struggle with LinkedIn, if I'm honest.
I go in and out of it.
Yeah, I do.
I'm not very consistent with it.
I'm not the best with it, but as I say, I still get a lot of messages through that. And again, I do like to share and comment on where I can, but you know, it's like, guys, it's then sitting there traipsing through, and then it's some of the crap on there. It's not. It's it's a bit more like a social media than a business page now.
Yeah, agreed.
Or just listen to their stories.
Oh God.
Well, on that note, thank you very much, Tim. If anyone has got any questions about insurance, anything insurance related, want to talk about your own insurance, or want to talk to Tim at all, obviously you can find him on LinkedIn then under Tim Cole, and obviously the email address and website as mentioned, company is Feel Financial. Thank you very much for joining
and our
us.
number as well, if anyone's got any questions.
Yep.
To ask me future guests.
Yeah, let us know if you want to be a guest on the podcast or got any topics that you would like us to cover. Please do let us know.
Hi everyone, Supergirl here, and I am a super fan of SMJ Media Group. They provide support for local businesses, charities and events, and of course create fun content for all of you. If you enjoy our content and would like to help support us, please go to buymeacoffee.com/SMJ Media Group and buy us a coffee.